The first things, it's the ID, because for me, create a cake, it's very important because the people buy the cake with the eyes. So you should to have something like little bit wow. So basically, I create the design always, and this can be very fast. It can take like 5 minutes, or it can take like, for example, 2 or 3 days. It depends.
Gregory, but it's so wonderful to talk to you. I look at your Instagram page. You've got such great work that you do. You're so creative with your pastry making.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you get into this career? Was this something that you was inspired to do since a young age?
Probably yes, because my father is a glass maker, so he's a glass artist maker, and it's very focused on details. And my mom she loved to cook, but she was always like staying at home to educate me and my sister, and I was always around the kitchen and try to catch some inspiration. So I can say, yeah, probably like these two person give me the power to move in this industry.
Yeah, so you grew up in a very creative environment then.
Yes.
But now, so was this then during, so you had to get your education, your school, was
Yes.
there a point where you could change then to get into a place, or how did your career start, or your training start?
So basically, after like in Europe, or especially in France, we have like a general school. So it was like at the age of 15, you can move into like university, or you can choose already some like work that you want to go. So basically, I chose the pastry, and I started in like culinary school for like 2 years. So I study like the whole things about food at the beginning, and after I chose the pastry for option, and I study pastry for like 3 years in this culinary school. Then after, I want to have like more diploma in this industry. So I take a kind of like master, and I spend again 2 years. But it was kind of internship. So basically, you spend like 2 weeks at school and 3 weeks in like an internship into like a company. So in my case, it was a pastry shop.
Okay. And now, is it important to get the education, or is it what do you feel is the most important part of it, the practical part, or the actual education part?
So I think when you are 15 or 16, doesn't matter. I think it's too early to stop the school. I mean, so I think it's very important to stay at school the maximum, and to continue to on the same times to work on this pastry. I mean, knowledge. So basically, yes, you can like, better to stay a little bit at school. To get some like more knowledge about the technology, because most of the time, if you switch directly as a worker, you of course you get a lot of practice, but at the end, you are not really like, I think, good with technology, with English, with like all that general like knowledge.
But now in pastry making, it's also a lot. It's a bit scientific as well, because it's about the ingredients and the temperature and the things like that. So so how much of that is important to know?
I think it's like I will say it's like it's the base of our work, the things, because I mean everything, like you say, is everything about temperature, about some like molecular things. So there is a lot of fact that you need to consider to move in this job, and since you understand the base and the way that is work, I think it's make the life more easy to create outstanding piece, I can say.
Yeah, I can imagine if you know the background or if you know what the materials do, then you can.
Yes. It's the base for any job, I think.
Yeah. And this creativity, how far do you go? I mean, how much do you experiment?
Wow. Sometimes it's very fast with me because I have a very easy rules to create a masterpiece. The first things, it's the idea, because for me, create a cake, it's very important because the people buy the cake with the eyes. So you should to have something like little bit wow. So basically, I create the design always, and this can be very fast. It can take like 5 minutes, or it can take like, for example, 2 or 3 days. It depends. Then after, when you have this design, you just create this design as a little bit fake, you know? So you just modeling and create the piece. Then after, you just use your base to create different layers. So it can be the sponge, the cream, the mousse, the icing, the decoration. So basically all these things is in my dictionary, in my encyclopedia of like recipe. Then after I just find the best combination with ingredients. And the last part for me, which is the most important, especially at this time, it's to be commercial. So at the end, we produce cake. It's for selling the cake. So basically, the organization is very important, and you should to have something that easy to produce, and easygoing. Yeah.
Yeah, but now, how much do people appreciate all this? Because, like you say, it's a whole process. It's not just in the oven and out, and there's a design involved as well. So, how much do people appreciate that, and to spend money on that?
It's depend the market, I can say, because me, I'm more like international chef, so I know like many countries around the world, and each country reacts differently. So basically, France are really focused on detail, Japan as well, Asia as well. Some countries are more focused on the flavor and the taste than the design. But it's always, it's different. Every market is completely different. So the people anyway have very high intention at the beginning, when they see the cake. So I can say like everyone has like, it's really important to have the very good design if you create something.
Now, after you spend all this time and creativeness and all your ideas, if somebody then eats it, it's gone. It's like, does it bother you, or is it part of?
No, this is the part of the job. So all the people, when you present cake, they say, "Oh, it's too cute for it. It's too cute. I cannot." I say, "Yes, you should, because what you need to eat should be cute, should be wonderful." I mean, me, I don't eat bad things. Everything should to be like proper plating, proper serving, and I think it's the whole experience. And doesn't matter if it takes for me like 2-3 hours to make the cake and maybe 2 minutes to eat. It's not the point for me. I don't think about this.
But that's so interesting that you enjoy that people enjoy what you bake.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it's very fascinating how the people are crazy about your heart. I just back from Los Angeles because I have some like business there, and the people there are really completely crazy about what you are doing, And even if it's like simple lemon pie or like very high-end cake, they are really amazed about this. It's very interesting. I love this.
But it's like, I always think it's like love, Love.
Oh yeah, yes. Yeah, and you give some like comfort to the people, and you give so much emotion. I mean, if the design is here and the taste is here, it's like, wow, it's done.
Now, over lockdown time, I've realized a lot of people have started baking and cooking again, and at home. And do you think this also brings another appreciation to your job, for example, because people now realize the effort that goes into it?
Exactly. I think it was like also a good point that the people, like you said, are starting to be in the kitchen and tried something. It's why during the pandemic, the lockdown, I start to give another direction to my work and give the possibility to basic people to practice my recipe with basic ingredients and basic tools at home. So at least you can give something for them, and they really appreciate it.
Yeah. But now, what would your advice be to a young pastry chef? Somebody
Young pastry chef, yes. To be patient, to be passionate about baking, because as you say, it's a lot of effort for like a couple of time of like tasting and admiration in front of the cake. So you should to be patient. You should to be really motivated, because it's not in 2 years you can be a chef. For me, it was take maybe like 15 years before to take my first position as a chef. I mean, it's very important to be passionate, because you spend a lot of time in the kitchen. You approximately spend 12 to 14 hours into the kitchen every day, usually.
We don't realize this about your job.
Yes.
When we buy the cake, we don't realize all the years of experience that you had to put in to create, to be able to create that as well.
Yeah.
And now this that we see on sometimes we have this impression that in a kitchen it's a lot of rush and a lot of sort of screaming and shouting. Is that true? It's that how it works?
I will say it's mostly for maybe cooking in the restaurants, because they have a lot of pressure, because they have different menu, they have different products going on the same times, different cooking time, temperature. So this is really challenging, and for cooking chef, I think is really really intense. For pastry, is a little bit different, because we have a very interesting organization. We work with like good storage as the freezer or like dry product. So basically, we mostly work as how can I say? I always give this example. Me, when I build cake, I'm working. If I'm a kid, so I have a kind of like Lego box, and inside my Lego box, I have a lot of different parts. So in my kitchen, it's the same. I have many different parts, and when I want to assembling this part, I just take this one, and I put all together and just making the cake. So for pastry, is not a big stress to be in a kitchen. Not like a cooking chef. In my kitchen, we have no stress. We just try to get the all information in advance, to prepare ourselves correctly, and to make sure that we don't have rush. Because for me, rush, it's mean you lost sometimes your you lost sometimes, and you cannot give the best effort.
No, that's true.
But now, sometimes it's important to have a little bit rush. You never know. Huh? When you do, for example, like private catering, and you do like a special wedding, you have always some things going in the middle of the organization, which change the whole part of the final product. So you should to manage with this. So sometimes it can be tricky, but not all the time.
Okay, but you are a creative person, so I'm sure you are good with problem solving then.
Yes, I love to solve problems.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now, what is your favorite thing to make? What is your claim to fame?
About food, or about pastry, about life? About
pastry, yeah. What is your signature, which I would say?
Signature cake, I'm mostly working with like mini cake and individual cake. and big cake. So big cake for me is like you're sharing cake for 10, 12 people. So yeah, basically I like to have like the mini portion that you can find for high tea, but also like individual cake that you can find in any pastry shop, and like celebration cake.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm not focused on wedding cake and like big cake. It's not really my focus. Not really focused also on the chocolate, but yeah, mostly like pastry in general.
Mm. Well, I must say, really, your work is so beautiful. I
Thanks.
honestly, yeah. But now tell me, what are your wishes for the future?
So the wishes for the future, it's to have my home company. I still have my home company, but it's more like a consulting company. So basically, it's like I'm just visiting place in different country, help them to create like the concept most of the time. But I don't have a specific shop under my name. So my next target now is to have like a shop with my name. And also, I'm really passionate about acting. So my next will be also acting for maybe TV show or something like this. But we are
Really?
working on it. Yes, yes.
Yeah. But where
And
did that? So acting like in a series or
yeah,
in
the
a
series.
film.
Yeah, we have some like we want to produce a TV show basically. So we hope that it will be good.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah.
Well, this is now very interesting because I speak to artists like actors and musicians that start cooking or baking, and now I'm
Yeah,
talking
so
to a
me it's a
pastry chef.
reverse.
But they're all interconnected, I think, all the different
Oh
forms
yes,
of art.
yes.
Yeah.
I think it's very important. Uh, Most of the time, the pastry and the cooking was a little bit on the back, and we didn't highlight so much.
Yeah.
And I think many chefs around the world, very famous chefs, have bring this idea to put this one on the camera since like maybe 10 years ago. And I think it's very important to the people to really understand this job, and also the way that we cook and the patience that we put and the love that we had into our product. So I think
Yeah.
it's very important to showcase this.
Yeah, and I think we've been used to so much instant. Like you go to a supermarket and you go to the baking aisle in the supermarket, and it lost almost these real bakeries. Where
Yes, yes,
real
yes,
places
yes,
where you go in and you go for the
yes.
cake and you go for the bread and so on. So, yeah, I think it's sad that that's lost.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah, but now so what? I want to ask you now. Can you do a shout out for where do you go for coffee in your area in France?
In France, I'm going at home because
Yeah.
I have so much things to do. So basically, I'm staying at home and doing my coffee here. But
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yes, most of the time, it's always taking coffee in my place because I'm not moving around too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the time is in a hotel or like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Okay. Now, so you don't have a favorite restaurant in the area or a coffee shop that you go?
Not specific.
Okay. So okay.
Because me, I'm staying not all the time at the same place. I'm traveling a lot. So
Yeah.
basically, like every year, I'm traveling around 300 days per year. So I spend
Wow.
300 nights at the hotel. So 65 nights, yes, I have something else to do.
Yeah, so you love your, well, I must admit there, I also like my own coffee, so I understand what you mean.
Yes,
But
yes.
do you ever come to Vienna?
Vienna?
Yeah.
I've been many times for transit, visiting also the city, but I never done any job there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. But close around Vienna, yes, many country like Prague or like Germany or Switzerland, but Vienna never.
So are you critical when you go into other pastry shops?
Not really, because for me, when I'm going somewhere, I always understand the difficulty of the place.
Yeah.
So I think that it's very important that everyone can make something with what they have, you know. So I'm not really, I mean, I don't really criticize usually.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, because, you know, it's like
yeah.
every people have different material, different place, different city,
Yeah.
and they have also customer. So customer also, it's like very important. So
Yeah.
basically not really criticize. Especially, I mean, depend if it's like very high-end restaurant and you pay a lot of money, I will little bit criticize if I'm not happy, of course.
Yeah.
But most of the time, not really. I mean, it's like, it's important also to consider this and to don't too much criticize, otherwise it's difficult. And you can learn also from like any places. So
yeah. No, that's true. That's true. And get inspired as well. So
exactly.
Well, this was so lovely to talk to you now. And I wish you all the best, and I wish you that your dream come true, or your wish comes true, that you have your own pastry shop.
Yes, I wish to, and I think it will be happen. So stay tuned.
Where will that be in France?
Probably not in France.
Oh, okay.
Mostly in I think mostly in US will be.
Oh, okay. Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I wishes come true, so it will happen.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for your time and for that you're willing to talk to me and share with all these things with me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.